Hey everyone, so I am back with my playthrough of Everlasting Summer. We are going into day 6, and at the end of the last video, when I showed you the day 6 tag come up, Elisa, everyone's favorite little tsundere from this story, was there on the screen, so I'm guessing that means that I'm heading towards the ending with her in it. Or maybe that means I've unlocked a certain achievement, or I'm still not exactly sure exactly what happened there, but we're going to find out, so here we go. It's day number 6 of Everlasting Summer. I woke up early when Olga Dmitrievna was still asleep. I stretched and sat up in bed. I felt surprisingly okay, although I should have slept through the day after what happened the night before. Quietly, so as not to wake the camp leader, I took the bag with my washing up stuff and went outside. I forgot to look at the clock, but it seemed like 6 or 7 in the morning. The camp was asleep. The grass was shaking off the night dew, a light fog hung above the ground, and the sun was just beginning to break through the treetops, not warm at all yet, like the fluorescent lamp in the house across from mine. I took a deep breath of the tasty cold air and thought that even a night owl like me can enjoy waking up this early sometimes. The streets of the camp were empty, of course. The water here has always been cold, but today it seems like they got it from the Antarctic depths. Even my hands went numb from it. Finishing with my hygiene, I decided to walk around the camp a bit. Olga Dmitrievna is asleep, breakfast not for a while yet, so there's nothing to do. I came to the square and looked at Genda. That guy doesn't care if it's day or night. He's alert. I smiled at my successful joke and headed to the boat shed. I didn't think that was a successful joke at all. As I walked, I hummed some song, absolutely sure I was the only one awake here. To my great surprise, I saw someone sitting at the pier, hanging her feet in the water. It's Elisa. I came closer and stopped, not sure what to say. Then she suddenly turned around and stared at me. Been standing here long? No. Why aren't you asleep? Why aren't you? She turned back and stared at the river again. Looks like I'm not the only one in a good mood today. At least she wasn't being sassy again. Can't sleep. I see. About yesterday. You got everything. You get everything, right? What exactly? Oh, for God's sake. My answer didn't seem to go down well. All right, I did. I lied. All right, good. She suddenly looked straight in the eye and smiled. In that case, I have plans for you tonight. Hey, really? Get my sensors on. Eh? May I ask what they are? You don't need to know. Well, since I'm a part of them, you'll know when it's time. Can you give me a hint at least? Nope. She got up and walked towards me. A bit scared, I cleared the way. Don't do anything stupid, Elisa said, moving away from the boat shed. I wonder what she meant. And what are those plans? I had no wish to become a part of some terrorist act against a monument or anything. Besides, I was still haunted by yesterday's talk with Lena on the island. She's probably still angry. And I never managed to explain everything to her. Although I don't even know what I would say if I had the chance. I felt guilty about everything that had happened, but I couldn't figure out what exactly I was guilty of. The camp was starting to wake up. Breakfast was at least an hour away, but I had no desire to go back to the camp leader's cabin, so I decided to wait by the canteen. At least I'd be the first one there for once. I sat on the steps and watched the sun rising. Sometimes it's great to just watch a new day come. I was overwhelmed with complete peace and tranquility. There were no thoughts to tear up my brain as they usually do. I simply bathed in warm rays of the heaven's star. In any other place and circumstances, I could probably even say I was happy. Good morning. You're early today. I looked up and saw Lena standing in front of me. She was smiling. You too. All of last night's events flashed before my eyes. Listen, if this is about yesterday, please don't. She interrupted me sharply. I don't know what came over me. It was all... Just forget it. She stared at me. Lena seemed much more confident than usual. If only it was all that simple. There's nothing complicated about this. She sat down next to me. So close, I felt a bit awkward, but made no attempt to move away from her. Sometimes, I have disputes with Elisa. Yeah, I realized. I see. But in this case, it happened because of me. Who knows? She answered, lost in thought. So that's why, I'm embarrassed. Perhaps I really am to blame. Or rather, I'm not trying to say that I'm not to blame, but I was trying to explain myself like a fifth grader to a teacher. Okay, don't. As I said, nothing serious happened. If you think so, you should just think about how to act from now on. Ah, not again. I covered my face with my hands, clearly showing that I have absolutely no idea what's going on here, and that everything, to put it mildly, is very unpleasant for me. Could you express yourself any clearer? What for? She said evasively. Look, if I don't know what I did wrong, I can't do better. Any girls watching, this is guys, just tell us what we did wrong. Just make it clear. Look, if I don't know what I did wrong, I can't do better. I can't decide on how to act, as you say. I think you'll understand. I would like to believe that as well, but... The canteen door suddenly flew open, and Olga Dmitrievna came out. Sitting around hungry this early? She said playfully. Good morning, Lena said merrily. She got up and headed inside. Shall we? Yeah, sure. We were not done talking, but pioneers appeared out of nowhere and flooded the place. By the time I got my breakfast, Lena was already sitting, surrounded by Miku, Zhenya, and Slavia. Sadly, there were no more free chairs at their table. Feeling down and deliberately not saying hi to anybody, I headed to my favorite place in the far corner of the canteen. I chewed my oatmeal, it really was chewy today, and washed it down with some cold tea. Then I began to watch the others. All the pioneers seemed to be here. Some were chatting, some, like Electronic and Shurik, were immersed in chewing, and some were gawping around like me. I was just about to leave when Uliana jumped over to my table with her tray heaped with food. Bon appetit, she blurted. Stealing again? I asked, openly staring at her tray. A growing body requires a lot of calories. Yeah, you really should grow up a bit, I whispered. What? I didn't think she heard me. Nothing. I headed out. Leaving so soon? She yelled at my back, disheartened. I gave no answer. I should have taken the washing up stuff back in. I don't want to carry it around all day. Besides, what am I going to do today? Nothing at all came to mind. I was in such a mood that it seemed like someone was going to show up and invite me on a journey. Wow, that just seems like an opening, doesn't it? I left the camp leader's cabin and paused for a moment, then heard a voice calling out to me. Semyon. It was Slavia. Busy? No. Can you help me? Of course. I didn't want to look for answers on a wonderful day like this. A couple dozen hours wouldn't change my situation after all. So what is it? You should stop by the Cybernetics Club. I don't know why exactly. They'll tell you everything. The unfortunate inventors again. All right. Thank you. She gave me a nice smile and ran off. So, a journey to the enemy's lair lies ahead of me, to the lair of the evil Dr. Electronic and the diabolic Professor Shurik. And Mr. Hyde. I pushed the door firmly and entered. Semyon, Electronic said a bit ominously, glancing up from some contraption he had been poking with a screwdriver. Slavia sent me. I know. And? What? The second door opened, and Shurik came in. Semyon, he greeted me in the same tone Electronic had. Well, I was last time I checked, I joked. So what do you need from me? We have an important task for you. I'm listening. The nurse came by yesterday. He stopped as if he wasn't going to continue. So, I asked carefully. So we have an important mission for you. I got that already. You are to deliver a package to her. Can't you do that yourselves? The infirmary is right over there, I said skeptically. We can't, Electronic said, surprised. What a weird couple indeed. I see. Not another heavy bag, I hope. No, nothing like that, he smiled. All right, fine. I carefully agreed. Hold on. Shurik disappeared through the door and soon came back, holding something wrapped in paper. Just be careful. All right. I took the package. If the pioneers weren't passing me the key to the pearly gates, it still looked like they were at least giving me the Olympic torch. Can I go? Of course, Electronic said threateningly. Threateningly? Of course. What? Really? Threateningly? Just be careful, Shurik pleaded. Outside, I took a good look at the package. They never told me not to open it, although it would make sense to go further on. I quickly walked to the square and, making sure nobody was following, slipped into the forest. I'm like really getting all devious, eh? I'm going to the forest to hide and check this out. I just stood there for a while, indecisive, looking at the package. I wonder, what's in it? Why is it so important for them? Why couldn't they take it themselves? I had a lot of questions. I opened the package and saw a bottle of Stolichnaya vodka. That's why they wanted me to deliver it, because if someone got busted with it, it was on my ass. That's nice. Jerks. And then I say, well, so what? Oh, that's right. I'm like a 30-year-old dude stuck in a teenager's body. So I'm all like, well, the vodka, whatever. Comrade, pioneers bringing a bottle of vodka to the nurse. Or rather, I'm doing it for them. This happens every day. Well, I got beer from the nurse yesterday. Why the heck not? Might as well, return the favor and give her some vodka. I wrapped the bottle back up and scratched my head. This isn't weird anymore. This is just stupid. So stupid, I couldn't think of one intelligent theory. I stood there for a while longer and thought I shouldn't let such a wonderful chance slip away. I quickly walked to the camp leader's cabin. Oh no! Thank God Olga Dmitrievna was not there. I snuck inside and began to rifle through the contents of the table drawer. Soon, the vodka was in a soda bottle, while in its place was some water for the plants. Happy with my clever plan, I went out and skipped along the way to the infirmary. Seriously, what is so wrong about that? They almost got me into a trap. If the camp leader had seen me, if anyone else had, I could have managed myself, so it was absolutely nothing. I gathered all my strength and knocked on the infirmary door. Hello, pioneer. Hello, I have a package for you. A bottle for your armpit. A package for your cabinet. I was so euphoric I began to talk nonsense. "Ah," she said. "Hand it over." I handed her the package. The nurse stuffed it into the desk drawer without looking. "You didn't open it, did you?" "Of course not," I blurted out. "Good boy. All right, so I'll be... Go, go, pioneer." I closed the door behind me and let out a sigh. I couldn't always pin this on the crazy inventors, and in my situation, I could really use even the most basic form of stress relief. I came to the square. The clock showed noon. That meant dinner was coming. Dinner was coming? I think he means lunch. I sat on the bench with the solid intention of not moving from here until the come and get it bell sound comes. Is it just me, or does it seem like we do virtually nothing and yet hours pass? Like breakfast was at 8 o'clock. All I did was like walk to a building, then walk to another building, and that was it. It's like 4 hours passed. Anyway, pioneers were running by. They were smiling and shouting merrily. Yes, the day was definitely a wonderful one. I glanced over the square and saw Lena approaching. Relaxing? Something like that. She sat by me and looked at the sky. Nice day, huh? It is. It was a bit awkward. Lena seemed different. She was not embarrassed. Her face was not red. She was confident. So, about that conversation. I told you everything already. Yeah, but just forget it. If you say so. We sat for a little longer in silence. I just can't. Not like that. So, what do you think about Elisa? She said, ignoring my inquiry. What do I think about Elisa? I repeated, lost in thought. I don't really know. Why? You're just so worried about yesterday. Well, of course. But what does that have to do with it? There's a direct connection there, she laughed. Let's assume... So what? Well, she... And again, I started thinking. Really, what do I think of her? Well, she can be arrogant sometimes. That's right. What else can I say? Now that I think of it, I don't know Elisa at all. The way she acts does annoy me sometimes. If you were wondering if I had any negative feelings about her, then no. I mean, she gets carried away, but everyone has their quirks. Lena stared at me. Really? Did I say something wrong? No, not really. She laughed out loud one more time, just before the lunch bell sounded. All right, see you. I didn't stop her, although I had a lot of questions left. But how do I ask them? And should I? I got up and slowly shuffled to the canteen. There were only a few spots left, so I had to sit with Electronic and Shurik. Did you deliver it? Yeah, I answered lazily, poking my fork at the buckwheat kasha. No incidents? No incidents. What was in there anyway? You didn't open it, did you? He stared. No. Great. Finishing my meal, I went out. I was struck by a sudden yawn. Taking a nap wouldn't be a bad idea. Of course it wouldn't. I sleep every day in this frickin' game. I headed to the camp leader's cabin. It felt like the summer sun was going to melt the whole planet, together with all its inhabitants. There was nowhere to hide. The sunlight seemed to reflect from every surface. Looking up, you risked going blind. Using my last bit of strength, I pulled the door handle, entered the room, and fell onto the bed. Of course, I wouldn't expect the cabin to be really cool, but it was much better than outside. Blissfully, I stretched out on the bed and closed my eyes. And that's where we're going to end the video for today. We'll see what happens. Elisa has plans for me, and I apparently have a big bottle of vodka. So we'll see whether those two things mix in my next episode. Click on subscribe so you can check it out when it comes. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That's always amazing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye-bye for now.